Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Let me just type a little message here. Everyone, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. Thank you. Boom. Hello, everyone. It's April 8th, 2020 at around 5:45 in the afternoon or evening. So wherever you are, good morning, good day, and good evening. And so here's the update. So I just looked outside. It's actually in the Santa Clarita Valley. It's very cloudy. It had just rained. It looks like it's clearing up. It's been raining all week, which is kind of weird. I thought. Read that the drought may have been. Uh, was that? I can't say we're not in a drought situation anymore, but it's not as bad. So which is good. So that's one good thing. But I'm afraid with all this rain, when it starts drying up, I'm thinking there may be earthquakes. I hope I'm wrong, and I always like to hope I'm wrong. But why do I even think about these things? So update: over 1.6 million have been affected by this COVID around the world. The United States is second to the most deaths, next to Italy, I believe, and we're only like 500 deaths less. Now, why am I saying that? Sounds kind of ghoulish or kind of morbid. We're not in any race. We're hoping to stop this. It's just I say that because it's kind of sad that we're having so many deaths, and I think we've reached over 100,000 deaths worldwide. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So a couple of things that they're saying is that so that's kind of what's going on around the world, around the nation. New York seems to be flattening their curve somehow. Haven't heard much about Louisiana, but they're saying a lot of African Americans are being affected. I also heard through one of my coworkers that that China has expelled a lot of Africans, and they're out on the streets because I guess they're trying to blame it on Africans. Um, so that's the nation. Haven't heard much about um, the state of California. I guess haven't really been listening much to the news, or it's not really hasn't really changed much. It's still status quo. So I guess that's good that it's not it's not really dire yet. Or and I'm hoping that we're bending the curve. I read somewhere that maybe that Californians have been affected. We may have had COVID even in the fall, and they're thinking there may be some sort of herd immunity in California, and that's why it's not as bad as Italy or New York. There were mention of 8,000 Chinese. Well, I guess 8,000 visitors from Wuhan, China. Guess they're not all Chinese. I'm sure there's people coming home who may not be Chinese. So at least 8,000 visitors a month for the state of California in the fall of 2019. So that's why they're thinking there may be herd immunity, that more people have actually been infected. And actually, if you look at one of my videos, one of the September ones, I think it's called. I think I caught something really bad. I self quarantined or something. So yeah, it was that was a terrible, you know, illness or infection at that time. So yeah, check it out. So let's see. So that's the world, the nation, the state. Locally, everybody's still mandated to wear a mask if you go to any business. That hasn't changed. Beaches and parking lots are beach parking and parking. That almost sounds redundant. Parking is are closed, so I guess you can't visit those. Um, haven't heard much about the community where I work. They were supposed to be 50% of the remaining staff were supposed to be relocated to the hospital. There was no email by the time I left work at 4:30. The manager had actually sent out 16 of our monitoring equipment like blood pressure, pulse oximeters. I think I mentioned that yesterday. And yeah, so I guess they're opening up a COVID ward, and so that's that. Then I talked to a colleague of mine. She said that one of our clinics, two nurse practitioners have resigned. The other one went on and called in sick. So I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned that yesterday. I might have. So I apologize if I'm repeating myself. It's Good Friday today. A couple of days it'll be Easter. I think we don't know the situation come next week if there are more people that are going to go. So if they were, I guess they weren't notified yet. Maybe I wasn't privy to the email. Maybe it was just sent for the LVN and the RNs. So we're still doing a lot of phone calls and video conferences or video telemedicine. And I actually have a lot next week. I think I have about uh, physicals, which are supposed to be complete physicals. So what's going to end up happening is a majority will be history. The physical will be limited, and then see if we can develop a plan from there. Um, and several phone calls. Uh, let's see. I don't think I'm doing any screening next week, but I think it's the week after that. I asked one of the providers who was down. Now, actually, it was one of the LVNs. I asked how it was yesterday. They said they didn't see anybody in the afternoon at all. So that's good. So, oh, coughed into my hand. I'll go wash my hand in a little bit. Yeah. So that's kind of pretty much it on this Friday, April 8th, 2020. And this is the our fight against the COVID in one institution. And like I said, I was told by one of my students that where she works at in one of the county facilities that they have numerous COVID patients. So I think I'm going to end it right here. There's really not much to say. Equipment is still the same. I just put out a video. I'm actually trying to edit it right now, and it's my coworkers making hand sanitizers. Work was generous. Actually, they gave us one bottle each. It's like this big of Purell. I'm not trying to advertise for them, but actually, it's actually they gave us one each. So that's actually that's a surprise because we actually have it all over the hospital, all over the clinic, and for them to give us an extra bottle, that's actually a good thing. But my coworkers, they made extra for themselves, so they made it out of it was rubbing alcohol. I think it was like 70. No, I think it was like 91% or something, and then glycerin, and then she put too much tea tree oil. Now I guess when they rub their hands, they can like smell it for hours, and so along with the glycerin, the alcohol, and the tea tree oil, they put hydrogen peroxide. And crazy enough, I think I mentioned it yesterday. I actually found three bottles. Well, I didn't. There were more than three bottles, but I bought three bottles of 3% hydrogen peroxide, which I guess it's also good for your clothes to get rid of that funk. It kills Klebsiella and a couple of other, several other bacteria. So Yeah, so I think it's I think it's there's really not much to say on this Friday. So I think in a sense that's good. So I still have a smile on my face. So that's good. So yeah, this is it for the update, and I'll update you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend and happy Easter. Keep safe, keep your distance, wash your hands, and please cover your mouth, your nose when you cough, sneeze, yawn, and we'll go from there. All right. Have a good night and have a good weekend. Thank you. Please remember to subscribe.